Hello, everyone. It is Barb Teckle, and I have an Animal Wisdom Oracle reading for you again this week. And last week, I said I was hoping to share with you a new deck that I had ordered, probably 2 months ago. I pre-ordered it, so I was so excited to get this deck. So I thought today I would do an unboxing of the deck, as well as we'll do pick a card around a theme from a different deck I'm going to use this week. But let's first do the unboxing. I have not opened this deck yet. I did take the plastic wrap off just to save a little bit of time, not struggle with that. So here we go. Here is the deck. Animal Love Oracle cards. Advice, compassion, and wisdom from our animal mentors. How cool is that? I just love, love, love that. And these are they're written and illustrated by Nadine Taylor, who is an exquisite artist. If you go to her website, and I cannot think of I'll put the link below to her website so you can see that. Otherwise, you can just Google her name as well. But she makes the most beautiful animal art. Wow, it's just gorgeous. So, yeah, are you ready? I haven't looked at the deck yet, so we're going to look at this together. So I love these kind of boxes where they open. There's a magnet inside there, and that's how the box opens. So it's like opening this treasure box, and look at the heart inside. Oh, I love that. It's like an animated heart, a sparkly heart. Here is the guidebook. Oh, this is really nice. Oh, I love this size of the guidebook. Sometimes, let's look at the font. Well, the font is probably about the same size as smaller guidebooks, but I love the feel of this. It's a real smooth finish. So it says, I'm just gonna kind of bend the book a little bit, get it ready to use. So here is just one of the pages. It's got a picture of the card, fish, and then it's got some keywords, the message, and then an affirmation. So that is really cool. Let's just see what else is in here. Oh, I love this, the border on the contents page. That's really pretty, showing the different animals. Okay, well, let's dig into the cards, because I know you probably want to see the cards too. Oh my goodness, you got to see this. Oh, this is so sweet. I believe this is a little chipmunk. Look at the colors. I would never think to put like the pinks with that color of the chipmunk. That is so sweet. And the little ladybugs. I'm seeing a heart shape on the leaf of this plant. Oh, that is darling. I absolutely love the colors. And look they match my top today. I was meant to open to that page. All right, let's look at the cards. Here we go. Okay, so the cards are within a box, it looks like. So I'm going to pull those out. Look at that. Love the colors. Bright and happy colors. Of course, there's not too many colors that aren't happy, I don't think. So I'm going to need my scissors, of course, there we go. Say it's not here. Now, this is a really decent size. This is a big, I don't know if these are the normal, let me get a ruler. I'm just curious what size these are. They seem bigger than, yeah, so this is the deck I'm going to use to pull the theme for today. So they are a little bit bigger than that. You can see they fit right inside there. So I'm curious to see what size these are. Let's use the ruler the right way. So they are, well, that's interesting, 5 3/4 by 4. Huh. I don't know if I've ever heard of that size before. So on the front, how sweet is that image? Looks like a dove to me. And I don't know if you can see that, but there are 2 doves. One dove's head is over the other. What a beautiful, sweet image. And it looks like it's within the petals of a rose. How exquisite and soft and beautiful is that? Wow. Wow, I love that. Wonder how she decided on. See, I'm always curious about all that stuff. Like, how did she decide on the cover of, or the backing for each of these cards? You know, what was the thought process behind that? I'd really like to know. But of course, when I think of dove, I think of peace and serenity. And when you think about connecting with the natural world, that's why we do that, is to connect to that peace and serenity, so we can connect to that peace and serenity within ourselves. So that's what I get just looking at the back of the deck. All right, so I'm going to just look at a few of the cards because I want to do pick a card. So you guys can pick a card today, and get to the theme as well. So right away we have Bat. I love Bat. Awakening, initiation, and inner depth. Ooh, I love that. Because bat is often a shadow animal. There's many people who don't like bats or have a fear of bats. So I really like the fact that it has the word inner depth, because oftentimes when we fear an animal, we got to go to the depths of the root of why that is. And I know in my own work of doing my own healing work, there's always been nuggets of wisdom in there, and a healing for me to understand what my fear was all about. So that is that. Oh my gosh, look at Bear. Oh, I love this. I love this image of Bear. Look at that. Oh, I know it's not a good idea to hug bears, but wouldn't you just love to hug this big guy? Oh, what a sweet, sweet image that is. All right, let's look at two more. Oh, the horse. Now this is interesting. So this takes up the full size of the card pretty much. And then I like how with the horse, it's within this rectangle shape. That's something I've not seen before. Usually it's the full size of the card. So I think that's kind of cool. I think there's probably a person could probably take a message from that as well. Isn't this beautiful? The horse. Let's see what the words on here are. Action, freedom, and life force. Life force. Oh, I like that. Hmm. All right, let's see one more. And I am noticing that this deck is a variety of different colors. And now I am wondering if that's how the cards are set up for this deck. And I'm going to take a quick glance in that in just a moment, just to share that with you, see what that is about. I'm feeling very called to the chartreuse green, one of my favorite colors. Oh, and the fox, look at. I just love the colors on here. They're so soft and muted, and calming. And I'm sure there was a reason for that as well. Again, when we're connecting to nature, we're letting go of all the busy external world things, and we're connecting deeply within ourselves and with the animal and the natural world, which just makes us. I mean, think about it. When you do that, you just are transported to this world that is so tender and beautiful. And I know for me, it's a place I want to be as often as I can. So the fox, and I love the shadow outline of the fox in the background. And the words are awareness, flexibility, and sensitive energy. Different words on these cards that I've come across before, which I really like. Like, I like the inner depth on the bat, and I love sensitive energy on this card. Oh, Nadine, these are gorgeous. I mean, I could hardly wait. I follow her on Instagram. There's another place you can follow her. And I was looking so forward to getting this deck, so I'm so excited to have it in my hands. Let me see if I can see if there's a reason for the color coding of the cards. I don't want to take too much time, but because I want to do the pick a card. So let's just look how to use this deck, page 3. I like this. There are several ways you can work with the Animal Love Oracle deck, and there is no right way. There isn't. When you work with oracle cards, it is wide and vast, and you can do whatever your little heart desires. So I am not seeing off the top if there's a reason for the colors. Maybe there's not, and that's okay. Maybe she just decided to do different colors, because a lot of times the colors are all the same. The background is all the same, so that's kind of cool. But I love that. I love that about this deck because it's different. And color for me is big in my life. Just especially those types of colors that these decks are, they're very soft and muted. It really has an effect on my energy, and it's really calming and soothing to me. So, all right, let's work with the deck. Oh my gosh, I love new decks. I want to collect every animal oracle card deck that is out there. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. As you can see, there's some more of my animal decks up there. So the theme for this week, we are going to pull from a deck by Roz Place, and this deck is called Power Symbols. Now, I don't know if I just put that in front of the microphone. Power Symbols. Sorry, there we go. Now, I don't know if you can just buy the deck by itself. She sometimes has little workshop classes where you can get the deck included, or she also has a whole Oracle Card Academy that you can study with her. But I took a smaller workshop from her, and the deck was included, and I was so glad, as I wanted the deck. So I took the workshop, and even though I knew, some of the stuff already because I went through Oracle School with Colette Bear and Reed, I still picked up a few other little nuggets from Roz, which was fun, but I really wanted the deck, and I'm so glad that I did that because I love this deck. So, Power Symbols cards. We're just going to pull a card, and obviously they each have a symbol on with a message, and that is going to be the theme, and then we'll do pick a card. So think about what number you want, card number 1, 2, or 3, because I'm going to pull those next. All right, let's see what the theme is for the week. This one's jumping out here. It's sticking out a little bit. Bee. It is the bee. How perfect is that for June? I've been seeing so many big bumblebees around. I love seeing them again. So bee, and the theme for this week is gather good things. There is so much to gather in summer, isn't there? I'm thinking right away about my garden, how I planted a garden this year, and I'm watching everything grow, and pretty soon I'm going to start being able to gather new vegetables for dinner. So gather good things. That is the theme, along with bee. So card 1, 2, or 3. We'll start with 1 this week. And then we'll look at it as a general reading once I've picked all 3 cards, so stick around. So here we go. I don't know if this deck is meant to read the cards upright or upside down, but I'm going to set the intention. I'm going to read the cards upright. I have a feeling that these are just upright. I could be wrong. No, because I'm already realizing it had the message and then the affirmation for each card. So they are meant to just be read as they are. Okay, so card 1. I'm going to pick them all right away. So card 1, this is you. Card 2, who are you? Who picked card number 2? Card 2. I'll move B over here so I have enough room. And card 3 is going to be this one right here. All right, so if you pick card number 1, unicorn, very different, unicorn. So the words on here, I'll show you the card in a moment. Just hang on, I can hear you already. I want to see the card. Okay, so it's innocence, mysterious, and rewriting inner programming. Oh my gosh, see what I mean? There are such different words on here. Rewriting inner programming. Oh my gosh, love that. Okay, unicorn. Now this is interesting also because often when we see the unicorn, we see it like the horn, either like in a rainbow color or a really bright color. This is black and white, which is really interesting to me. And then when I'm looking at rewriting inner programming, so gather good things, remember, is the theme. If you pick number 1, your message is with the unicorn this week. Right away, black and white, symbolic of looking at the shadow. So looking at the shadow aspects. Again, and I know I've talked about shadow in my other readings that I've done. Don't be afraid of the shadow. The shadow has so many gifts for us. So you're being called to look at the shadow. And when we do, that's when we come to the other side of good things, definitely good things. Shadow oftentimes blocks us from experiencing more good things in our lives because think about the incredible amount of energy it takes when we focus on those what we perceive as negative, but so often the shadow is a gift to helping us bust through to the other side and experience more joy by looking at the shadow aspects of ourselves. So I have to go back to rewriting inner programming because that's what it's all about. Oftentimes the shadow parts of ourselves are conditioned parts of ourselves, societal pressures that we've bought into or that we've believed. So again, if you pick card number 1, in order to gather more good things in your life, you have to look at the shadow part and really, again, try to approach it as the shadow has a gift for you to get to more of the good things. So that is card number 1, powerful card to start with. Card number 2, wow, is cow. I'll show you the card right away. Cow. And the words on here are harmony, patient, feminine energy. I'm wondering now, as I look at these, these bigger depth things that she's sharing here, like the rewriting, inner programming, and then feminine energy. I think I will pull and look at cow to see what this is about and how she's weaving that in, because I'm finding that so intriguing and really fascinating. So when we're looking at gather good things, and we're looking at cow in harmony, patient, and feminine energy, right away, so I am thinking about how this is a fact that for 26,000 years, we are now moving into this new cycle. Not for 26,000 years have we been in a patriarchal cycle, but for hundreds of years, I believe it is, we've been in this patriarchal cycle. And so many of us are being called to embrace our feminine energy, whether you're male or female, that we are starting to make that shift again. So things are more balanced in our world. Because if they're one way or the other, we are out of balance. And that does mean harmony can come into all of our lives when we each embrace the feminine energy within ourselves. But if you pick card number 2, this is really specifically talking to you for the week of June 13th, which I think I forgot to mention. This is the reading for the week of June 13th. So patient. It says patient. I read it as patience. Well, be patient. You have to be patient as you are learning to embrace that feminine energy. Again, it goes back to sort of like from card number 1 with the rewriting of inner programming. We've lived in this way for so long that it does become a conditioned part of ourselves. So we have to be patient with ourselves as we learn to embrace these new ways that are going to have a positive effect not only on our own lives and our own inner world, but the external world around us and our family and friends. So that is card number 2. See how they always kind of go together? So that's why I always tell you, even if you pick card number 1, stick around to see what the rest of the animals are, because there's always another little nugget of wisdom for you. So if you pick card number 3, oh my gosh, love this. Seriously, I love this so much. Now this is a shadow animal. So just be open to this, okay? I know many people have a fear of this, which is snake. But look how beautiful the multicolored colors on this card. Wow. So the words on here are rebirth, grounded, and holy vibrations. Holy vibrations. Wow. This is actually, I'm going to look at the guidebook here because this holy vibrations. Wow. Those last bit of words on these 3 cards and some of the cards I was just pulling to show you, I just want to know more about this. It just makes me want to go deeper. And maybe that is the whole point of this deck too, is to help you go deeper in your psyche to get more answers for things in your life. And I'm looking, I just have to say right now, I'm looking at this card, and I don't know if you can see that. Here's the snake, but see this? That's almost like this is the skin. That's what it's reminding me of, the skin that it has shed. Because snake is a powerful animal, big time medicine, and it's about shedding what no longer serves us. So if you pick card number 3, start thinking about what in your life do you need to let go of, what no longer serves you, and let go of that. Start to release that. And sometimes that takes, taking small baby steps to do that, to slowly let go of that skin that you no longer need and grow into that new person that you're becoming. Holy vibrations. I just love that. Okay, I know I've said I just love that 1,000 times. Forgive me, but I really do love this deck. I guess in some ways I do have to say I love so much in life, and I don't think there's an animal card deck I have met that I haven't liked yet, because everybody has a different twist on it, with the art, with the way they word it, the words they choose. And I love being open to all that, because it all has something I've learned from that and grown from that in so many ways, and hopefully you have too. So I'm going to read this one because I just want to see if she incorporates that word holy vibrations in here. So the message is, the card you have selected shows a snake lifting its head in recognition. A red serpent-like form uncoils behind it. Oh, wow. Interesting. If the snake has appeared in your life, put your seatbelt on. Things will be changing. And that, I'm telling you, don't look at that as a negative. Take your lesson from me. If you've read my book, I'm Fine Just the Way I Am, there's 2 chapters that I dedicate to my teaching from a snake, and it was big time medicine, and it changed my life profoundly. Was it easy while I was going through it? No. I'll be honest, it wasn't. I am so grateful, though, to snake. And I know I've said this in other readings when snake has come up, but I will continue to say this till the day I die, because snake was so powerful for me and really, really got me to start shedding the skin I no longer needed. And I'm so grateful for that. So let's keep reading. The snake says that the only constant thing in life is change. It has come to tempt, tantalize, and transmute you. Although feared by many, the snake is an important and life-transforming creature. And whether you believe it or not, it has appeared in your life to protect and guide you. Nothing could be truer. That is so true. I've had that experience. The snake's symbolic power is all about awakening Kundalini and becoming sensitive to it when it pulses through your body. Kundalini is a form of intelligence. It is the creative life force, energy, and consciousness which has been coiled at the base of your spine since birth. I also had the Kundalini awakening with snake after I went through the whole powerful thing of what I needed to learn, which I share in my book. When snake came to me during a meditation, and it was so gentle and extremely sensitive, and such a beautiful moment. Though I didn't realize at the time it was a Kundalini awakening. I realize now that it was. So as you spiritually evolve, energy is slowly released, triggering more life changes and spiritual detoxification. This experience can be startling, chaotic, or blissful. It all depends on your state of mind. What helps, though, is that the snake is a grounding and stabilizing influence as well. And I love that. And it is. I mean, snake lives their life on the ground. though sometimes climbing in trees too, but they are very grounding because they're so close to the earth. Since it moves directly on the earth itself, it is associated with connecting with powerful formative energies. Are you feeling a bit disconnected and preoccupied? Take your shoes off and walk barefoot. Let your feet kiss the ground. Be mindful of every step you take. Now is the time to shed your outdated skin in order to make room for new opportunities. Transcend limited thinking. Let go of any venomous beliefs that have accumulated in your consciousness, like anger and resentment. And those are so toxic to our system in so many ways. She didn't write that, I'm saying that. And I like how she used venomous beliefs because it is poisonous. It's like we're drinking poison. So release old ways. Okay, I just have to say something. This is popping into my head. So anger and resentment, so often when we're angry at somebody else, maybe you've heard that saying, it is like swallowing poison yourself. We have to release that anger. It doesn't excuse what maybe somebody else did to you, but when we carry that around, we're carrying that anger and we're carrying that burden that we don't need to carry. So I really like that she pointed that out. So release old ways and patterns that are holding you back from your creative destiny, but take it slow. Don't rush into anything without carefully checking it out. Be open to new, exciting opportunities that will redesign your entire life. You may have known who you were when you woke up this morning, but you are not that person anymore. You can change with every breath. Wow. You can change with every breath. That makes me want to cry. Follow the snake to your transformed and revitalized body, mind, and soul. So the affirmation is, I feel and embrace all of the changes taking place within me. Out with the old and in with new, transformative, and loving energy. No matter how I feel, the snake and earth are there to ground me. I think that is one of the most beautiful messages I have ever read about snake. Yeah, it could be a little bit because I had such a powerful healing with snake, but I really hope others can embrace snake. And if you pick card number 3 and you have a fear of snake, I hope you can embrace everything Nadine has shared. Maybe read my book, I'm Fine Just the Way I Am, if you haven't, and really embrace, because I have learned with snake that the more I honor any animal that I fear, the more I honor myself when I look at the shadow aspects of that. So I can see this is almost, wow, I think this is the longest reading I've ever done, but I just felt it was so important because, we are continuing to transform. 2020 was a big year, and, we're seeing the things that we need to change within our own lives, and change isn't always easy, but there's so many good things to gather on the other side of when we are open to change. And I want to pick up on the fact that this is just being, and being with all of that, being with those things that are uncomfortable, so that we can get to more of what is comfortable, and have many, many more good things and joy in our life. So I hope you enjoyed that reading. I hope you enjoyed the unboxing and unveiling of this new deck, which I can hardly wait to work with more, and really look at the guidebook more. So again, that is Animal Love Oracle Cards by Nadine Gordon Taylor. All right, everyone, you have a great week, and I'll be back again next week. And if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up so more people can discover it, and learn more about oracle cards and animals and how you can incorporate that into your life. I'd appreciate that. All right, have a great week, everyone. Bye-bye.